Hi everyone, my name is Jay. So today I will be talking on data visualization using Cufflinks. So bit about me. I'm a graduate student at IIT and I'm studying actually computer science with a specialization in machine learning. And this summer I will be working as a machine learning fellow at Platform.ai where I will be enhancing their deep learning platform. So yeah, that is my LinkedIn profile. So what is Cufflinks? So this is not the cufflinks that you are thinking of. So this is, yeah. So Cufflinks is, so first of all, how many of you have worked with Plotly? Okay, great. So Cufflink, you can call it as a productivity tool that combines the power of Plotly and Pandas. So an interesting fact about this library is this library has been created by a product manager and not a full-time developer. And it is interesting to see that the library is comprehensive, as it feels that it has been developed by a developer but not a product manager. So the product manager who developed this library works in a financial firm, and he created this library to help him on his financial data analysis. So it is optimized for financial charting, and it is interactive since in the back end Plotly is working, so it is interactive, and it is open source. So if you want to add any functionality, you are feel free to do that, and then you can also request some pull requests on that. So here's the backend of Cufflinks. So the foundation of Cufflinks is based on d3.js. So for visualization, d3.js has amazing charts, and Plotly is based upon that. And Plotly is itself a company in which you can export your chart in various formats. So and there goes the Cufflinks. So this is the JavaScript format. This is the Plotly Python wrapper for JavaScript, and on top of that, Cufflink is made. So the data for this visualization, we will be using Medium. So if you have published some article on Medium, you know that you get stats on your articles, such as how many people have read it, how many people have viewed it. So we'll be using the Medium article data of Will K. I can't pronounce his last name. So he has some great articles on data science, and he has some huge following. So we have some good amount of data to work with. So yeah, enough of the talk. Let's see the code. So yeah, so these are the kinds of codes. These are the kinds of plots that you can make, such as scatter. I'll try to cover the main part of it, but if you want to see all of them, you can refer the documentation. So yeah, for the start, you just have to import this library, import Cufflinks as CF, and then for using it, you just have to call iplot function on your data frame, and you are good to go. And for various kind of charts, you just have to pass the parameters in that iplot method. So this is how the Medium data looks. It has a number of claps and days since publication fans. So we'll be using this data. So let's look at histogram. So it's just a one line of code. I just took the claps column and called the iplot function. So you can see that it has plotted the count versus clap graph. So in which we can find that so this first bar is showing that 0 to I guess 500 people have voted clapped 50 times, and then it goes on. So let's see the group histogram. So if you want to see same columns with same ratio, so you just have to use group method in the bar mode, and you can get multiple features on the same column. So this is it. So you can see that the writer, which is Will K, he's an early bird since he writes and publishes articles. He starts from 5 a.m. So yeah, that's the interesting fact. So overlaid histogram. So if you want overlaid graph, you just need to call an overlay in the bar mode. So yeah, so it is the same graph, but it is in overlay mode. So bar plot. So this is a bar plot showing that he writes articles with maximum number of education as tag and then data science. Yeah. So showing with two categories. Okay. So this library works well in the Jupyter Notebook. Since I'm using Jupyter Notebook slides, it mainly goes off. So yeah. So here's the monthly average views and reads. So we can see that Jan and the April has most number of views. Yeah. So the scatter plot. So let's see scatter plot in the time series environment. So I'm taking only the towards data science publication articles. So let's see that. Okay, yeah. So here's the read time trend. So we can see that he has published some 20-minute articles in Jan and then July. Yeah, so it works. So here's some graph for fan and word count over time. So let's look at bubble chart. So bubble chart is an interesting one because you can use 3 features at the same time. So x and y are the first and the second dimension, and the third dimension is the bubble size. So you can get the size by hovering over the bubbles. So you can use the third dimension as the bubble size. So this is the ratio plot. So if you pass in 2 columns, it gives you the ratio in the below of the chart, so you can get the idea for your purpose. So it has a lot of themes. So these are the themes, which is ggplot. I use the Perl in this talk, and rest of the themes are here. So yeah, you can use whatever you like. So let's look at pie charts. Okay, so yeah, from pie chart we can analyze that he writes maximum of his so maximum of his articles is being read of the towards data science publication. So yeah, so this is the 3D scatter plot. So in this we can use 4 dimensions, which is the x, y, and z are the default one, and the 4th one is the size of the bubble. Okay, so this is scattered. So there are only 3 dimensions. In this we can use 4 dimensions, which is the 3D bubble chart. As discussed previously, so 4th dimension is the size of the bubble, and you can play with the chart however you like. Yeah. So the chart I showed, it was in the Jupyter Notebook, but if you like, you can export in the Plotly Studio. It's an amazing studio. So there's a company called Plotly in which you can export for your presentations. So yeah, this was the little some of the plots. There's more of the plots available at Cufflinks documentation as well as Plotly documentation. So that was for the presentation. Any questions?
So what are some of the benefits of using Cufflinks versus, say, just like plain Matplotlib?
Okay, so yeah, so the question was, what is the difference between Cufflinks and the vanilla Matplotlib? So the major difference is it is interactive, Cufflinks, and as you know that D3.js is the most advanced visualization library. So for this Cufflinks, you don't need to know JavaScript. You can use your data frame and just get away with it. Yeah.
Do you need an API key for Cufflinks?
If you use so the question was, do we need API keys for Cufflinks. So if you use Plotly in offline mode, you don't need Plotly APIs. But if you want to export in the Plotly Studio, then you would need the API keys. Yes.
How big was the data and how big this library can handle?
Okay, so the question was how big was the data in the stock and how big data can it handle. So this data was not big enough. I guess it had 10,000 rows, but I saw the creator's talk at PyCon. He said it can handle big data, so there's no problem with big data as such. Any more questions? Yeah. Thanks.